Very good afternoon to all the NEET aspirants. This is your Prasanna Ma'am from NEET World. So yes, we are on our second session of our 1000 questionnaire practice for NEET 2026, and we are with the chapter photosynthesis in higher plants. In our previous class, we have exercised questions based on the discoveries, early experiments of photosynthesis and site of photosynthesis. Today let us look into the chloroplast organelle, the pigmentation or different pigments in the chloroplast, questions based on action spectra and absorption spectra. Let us also look into the questions based on light harvesting complex and electron transport system as well. Yes, let us get started. So, if you look into this question beta, look into this question. Which of the following is correctly matched regarding the chloroplast structure? Once I will give you a short tip on the organelle once, then it is easy for you to tackle the question. We all know chloroplast is a double membrane bound organelle inside which membranous sac-like structures are present. These membranous sac-like structures are called as thylakoids. Membranous sac-like structures are called as what beta? Thylakoids. Stalk of this sac-like structures is called as what? Grana. Okay. Stalk of the sac-like structures is called as grana. One grana is connected to other grana by stroma lamellae. Okay. One grana is connected to other grana by stroma lamellae, and inside the thylakoid lumen, this is thylakoid lumen, the fluid filled space is called as stroma. One thing here I would like to tell you that this is the thylakoid membranous sac, right? Let us draw this in detail. Okay. Let us assume this is the thylakoid membrane and this is the thylakoid lumen. In the thylakoid membrane, as we have discussed, what are present, ma? Photosystems are present inside which light harvesting complexes are there, which is filled with pigments which absorb light at different wavelengths. So, as pigments are present in the light harvesting complex, absorption of light in the form of photons takes place where? In the thylakoid membrane. Absorbing that light, the water molecules which are present in the thylakoid lumen will be photolyzed. So, photolysis of water happens where beta? In thylakoid lumen. Clear? And in stroma, carbon dioxide fixation takes place. ATP and NADPH are released out into the stroma of the chloroplast itself. Now, it will be easy to you to answer the reactions versus locations. Here you see grana is the site for carbon fixation. Wrong. Stroma is the site for carbon fixation because in stroma what are present, ma? ATP and NADPH at the end of light reactions are released into the stroma of the chloroplast, and inside stroma only all the enzymes which are required for carbon dioxide fixation are present. So, in grana, it is not the site of carbon dioxide fixation. Next you see stroma. This contains chlorophyll molecules. No, stroma doesn't contain chlorophyll molecules. Just now we have discussed inside the light harvesting complex which is present in thylakoid membrane, there lies the what? Chlorophyll pigments, not in the stroma. So, this is also wrong. Thylakoid membrane is the site for light reaction. That is true. Thylakoid membrane is site for light reaction where the absorption of light in the form of photons takes place in the thylakoid membrane, and non-cyclic photophosphorylation occurs in thylakoid membrane. So, yes, 3 is option C is correct. If you look into this beta, outer membrane produces ATP. Wrong. ATP is produced where? ATP is produced in the stroma of the chloroplast, not on the outer membrane. So, yes, this is also wrong. I hope you have understood the sites of reaction, right? So, here the right answer will be option C. This question you look into, ma, the following figure shows. So, this is what? which is depicting both the action spectra and absorption spectra of chlorophyll A. Okay. So, when absorption spectra and action spectra are driven out, in absorption spectra you have observed that the maximum absorption of light is by chlorophyll A. As the maximum amount of light is absorbed by chlorophyll A, maximum oxygen is evolved from the photosynthesis conducted by the pigment chlorophyll A. So, the action spectra chlorophyll A will be, action spectra of chlorophyll A is coinciding or resembling the absorption spectra of chlorophyll A. That is how in a single graph these two lines are depicting what beta? Chlorophyll A is resembling both the action spectra and absorption spectra. Now, here you look into from the following figure, this shows what? Action spectra of photosynthesis is superimposed on absorption spectra of chlorophyll A. Exactly, this is what we are recalling, right? Option B you look into action spectrum of photosynthesis superimposed on absorption spectra of chlorophyll A. No, chlorophyll B. No, it is superimposed on the absorption spectra of chlorophyll A, not B. This is wrong. Both A and B wrong. It is only option A. And option D is also wrong, because in D he is saying absorption spectra of carotenoids. Wrong. It is absorption spectra of chlorophyll A. Clear right now beta? This also you have understood, right? Yes. Before going to next question, let us look into this comment. Ma'am, please put questions for all subjects daily, more questions. What self-studying type of models are more types of basics, advanced questions I want. So, Kashi Rajan, yes beta, so we are exercising from basic questions to advanced questions, keeping all set of students in mind. So, in this 1000 questionnaire session, this questionnaire sessions will be for all subjects from our NEET World channel, and the questions will be from basic to advanced level. Not just advanced level questions are solved, from basics to advanced questions. All type of questions you can see, easy questions, moderate questions and advanced questions. Try to look into all the questions. If most of the questions you already know, it is well and good. It will be a practice for you. Few questions which you cannot solve, that you look into the explanation and then you recall the content. Okay? Yes. This question you see, this is very simple. In column 1, what is given? Chlorophyll pigments, carotenoids, xanthophylls are given, and in column 2, the color of the pigment is asked. This color of the pigment is drawn out from what spectra? Absorption spectra and absorption spectra of photosynthesis. So, chlorophyll A will be what color beta? Blue green in color. Chlorophyll B is what? Yellow green in color. Carotenoids are yellow to orange and xanthophylls will be of yellow color. Clear, right? So, A will be 4, B is 3 and C is 1 and D will be 1, C is 3, A will be 4, B is, chlorophyll B is of yellow green color, carotenoids of yellow to orange. Yes, option C is the correct answer. Next question you see ma, assertion reason question. So, Kashi Rajan, this will be a little typical, you can see. Assertion, leaf coloration is due to the presence of 4 pigments, chlorophyll A, B, carotenoids and xanthophylls. That is 100% true, because you can see many diverse leaves with of different colors. Okay, few times it is because of different pigments like violoxanthin, xanthophylls, carotenoids. Okay, as such, based on the major pigmentation of the leaf color will be modified. So, this assertion is true only. Reason you look into, chlorophyll A is chief pigment associated with photosynthesis. Yes, chlorophyll A is the chief pigment associated with photosynthesis, but then in reason it is not explaining the assertion. In that case, what option we have to choose beta? Both assertion and reason are true, but reason is not the correct explanation of assertion. Option B will be the correct answer. Clear now beta? Next, this you see from light reactions. Reaction center consists of what? So, before giving you out the reaction center, let me explain you clearly the light harvesting complex which is in the thylakoid membrane. Over the thylakoid membrane, what is present? Light harvesting complex is present, where many antenna pigments are there. Okay, these antenna pigments are also called as what, Nana? Accessory pigments. Name few antenna pigments or accessory pigments like carotenoids, xanthophylls. These are different accessory or antenna pigments which will absorb light at different wavelengths, and they will submit all this light whichever is absorbed to the reaction center. Okay, to the reaction center, and at the reaction center which pigment is present? Chlorophyll A is present, which absorbs maximum wavelength of light. So, chlorophyll A is in the reaction center. Clear, ma? So, first accessory or antenna pigments will absorb different wavelengths of light in the form of photons, and they will be submitting to what? Reaction center. At the reaction center, chlorophyll A will be present. Clear, right? Now, you look into the reaction center consists of what, beta? Chlorophyll A. Clear? Next, chlorophyll A in photosystem 2, it will absorb maximum wavelength at 680 nanometers. Okay, in photosystem 2, it is what? 680 nanometers. In photosystem 1, in PS1, it is of 700 nanometers. Clear, right, ma? Next question you look into, which of the following is produced during light phase of photosynthesis? So, in light phase of photosynthesis, if you see, let me tell you, we all know photosynthesis will have two phases. One is light dependent phase and the other is, one is light dependent phase, and one more phase is what? Light independent phase. Light independent phase. Light dependent phase, three major reactions occur. Yes, ma? Newton 2.0, I don't know your name. Yes, we are also going to exercise previous year questions as well. For previous year questions, separately sessions are already available. You just go to the playlist and check. I have made all the videos of previous year questions from 2019 to 2025. It is already there in the playlist beta, once you go and check. But here also we will be including those questions and solving. So, light dependent phase, three steps are absorbed. First is what? Absorption of light in the form of photons. This absorption of light in the form of photons takes place where? In thylakoid membrane. Okay, this occurs in thylakoid membrane or thylakoid lamellae. Second step is what, ma? Second step is photolysis of water, where one water molecule is photolysed to 2 protons plus 2 electrons plus oxygen atom. Clear? So, this takes place where in the, this takes place in what? Thylakoid lumen. Okay, lumen of the thylakoid. And third is, first is absorption of light in the form of photons, second photolysis of water which occurs in thylakoid lumen, and third step is formation of assimilatory power, that is ATP and NADPH. This formation of assimilatory power occurs in stroma. Okay, it occurs in where, beta? Stroma of the chloroplast. And here if you see dark reactions or light independent reactions, where carbon dioxide is reduced to glucose. Okay, carbon dioxide is reduced to glucose, or carbon dioxide fixation also we call it as. This occurs where? Inside the stroma of the chloroplast. Keep all the locations in your mind, where photon absorption is taking place, where photolysis occurs, where assimilatory power is formed, where carbon dioxide fixation is happening. Keep all the locations in your mind in the chloroplast organelle. Okay. So, now you look into this question, what of the following is produced during the light phase of photosynthesis. So, here if you can see, at the end of light phase, oxygen molecule is released and assimilatory power is formed. In that case, what will be our answer, ma? ATP and NADPH. If oxygen is also given, you can also add on that. Okay. So, assimilatory power is formed at the end of photosynthesis. Photochemical phase does not include, okay. Photochemical phase means what? Light reaction phase is called as photochemical phase. Photosynthesis is also called as photochemical reaction, because physical form of energy, that is photons, is converted to chemical form of energy, that is ATP and NADPH in the light reaction. So, it is what is does not include. So, in question he asked photochemical phase does not include what? Dark reaction or light independent reaction. In light independent reaction, what is taking place? Carbon dioxide fixation. So, option D will be the correct answer. Whereas these three, light absorption, water splitting and oxygen release, ATP and NADH formation, these three are included under what? Light reactions. Okay. This light reaction or light dependent reactions is also called as what? Photochemical phase, because here photons, which is the physical form of energy, is being converted to the photons, which is the physical form of energy, is converted to chemical form of energy, ATP and NADPH. So, these three steps which are involved in the light dependent reactions comes under what phase, beta? Photochemical phase. Okay. Photochemical phase. Clear? So, here you observe this question is clear to you, right? Next question let us look into, ATP synthesis during light reaction. During light reaction, ATP is synthesized by what? In higher plants, though it is non-cyclic photophosphorylation. ATP synthesis happens through what, Nana? Non-cyclic photophosphorylation. If it is bacterial photosynthesis, then it will be cyclic photophosphorylation. Clear? So, ATP synthesis during light reaction is called as what? Photophosphorylation. If ATP synthesis in mitochondria during aerobic respiration, if that is the question, then what you have to choose? Oxidative phosphorylation. Okay. ATP synthesis during dark phase, ATP synthesis during aerobic respiration inside the mitochondria organelle, that is what? Oxidative phosphorylation. Clear, right, ma? Next question. In photosynthesis, the light dependent reactions takes place in, okay, where are light dependent reactions taking place? In both photosystem 1 and photosystem 2 of thylakoid membrane. Okay, so the option will be option C. Clear? Here you see, photosystem 2 is located where? This is a direct statement question from your NCERT. So, photosystem 2 is located in the inner side of thylakoid membrane. Okay, remember that. Photosystem 2 is located where, ma? In the inner side of thylakoid membrane. Fine. So, this will be the answer. Indigo and red regions of WebGR respectively fall in the range of wavelength. What wavelength of both? From WebGR, what is he asking? Which regions? Indigo and red. Okay. So, indigo it will be from 430 to 470 nanometers, and red we all know it is from 660 to 760 nanometers. So, option A will be the correct answer. Okay. So, it is indigo and red regions, the maximum wavelength or the range of wavelength of these two colors from the spectra will be 430 to 470 for indigo, 660 to 760 for red. This question you see, ma, diagram based question which is very important. Look into here, this is from what? Light harvesting complex. Okay, this is from light harvesting complex, where you can see antenna pigments or accessory pigments and core pigment also here. So, look into here, given figure depicts the light harvesting complex of the photosystem 1. Okay, it is of photosystem 1. So, in photosystem 1, reaction center will have what wavelength, ma? P700. So P700 will be the reaction center. All these pigments are what? Antenna pigments or accessory pigments. Then A will be what? Antenna pigments or accessory pigments. B, if you see, B comes under what? Core molecules or core pigments. And here you can observe, okay, C, okay, C which is over here, this is what? Reaction center, that is of what wavelength? P700. And this excited energy is what? Primary electron acceptor, okay, primary electron acceptor, that will be for photosystem 1 ferredoxin, okay, this will be what? Ferredoxin for photosystem 1. So B, option B will be the right answer, where A are what ma? Antenna pigments, B is what? Core pigment, and here maximum wavelength, absorption wavelength of photosynthesis 1 is what? P700, that is the maximum wavelength of photosystem 1, and the absorbed energy here if you take, the primary electron acceptor will be ferredoxin if it is photosystem 1. So option B will be the correct answer. Next question you look into beta. Recognize the figure and find out the correct matching. Same type but little variation. Here D will be what? D will be accessory pigments or antenna pigments. Okay. D is accessory pigments or antenna pigments. So here this you can consider D are pigment molecules. This also you can consider D are pigment molecules. Okay. And C is what? Photon. Okay. C is what? Photons which are absorbed by the accessory pigments. So here C, where is it photons? Here it is photon, and here also it is photon. Here also it is photon. And A is what? Reaction center. A will be reaction center, and B is primary electron acceptor. So here primary electron acceptor, whether it is for PS1 or PS2 he didn't mention, but I am telling you the major point. Remember that for photosystem 2 the primary electron acceptor will be pheophytin. Okay, what is the primary electron acceptor of photosystem 2 ma? Pheophytin. Who is this? Rasgulaman. What is core pigment? See, look here ma, accessory pigments are those pigments which absorb light at different wavelengths, and they will submit that energy, that light energy, to one chief pigment. That pigment is called as core pigment, and the core pigment is what? Chlorophyll A here. Now you understood beta. Okay, core pigment is chlorophyll A. Antenna or accessory pigments will absorb the light at different wavelengths, and they will submit the energy to core pigment. Core pigment here will be chlorophyll A. Clear, right? Next question you see. Yeah. The products of photochemical reaction will be. Photochemical phase means what phase? We have already exercised one such type of question. Photochemical reaction phase means light reaction. Okay, this is what Nana? Light reaction. Wherein in light reaction what is present? At the end of light reaction. During photolysis of water, oxygen is evolved. Okay, ATP and NADPH. These are what? Assimilatory power which is formed at the end of light reaction or light dependent phase. So this is option A. Okay, A will be the right answer. Next you look into assertion reason type of question. Hill reaction can occur only in light. True. Hill reaction is nothing but that Z scheme. Okay, uphill and downhill movement during the Z scheme. Tomorrow I will discuss in detail about the Z scheme, and then only we will go with the solutions or solving things of electron transport system. So in Hill reaction this occurs only during light because it is non-cyclic photophosphorylation for synthesis of ATP. In reason if you see beta, in the light reaction of photosynthesis, light is required for functioning of photosystem 1 and photosystem 2, correct, and production of NADPH and ATP. So if you can observe reason clearly, in assertion one statement is passed out that Hill's reaction can occur only in light. But why Hill's reaction is occurring only during light is clearly explained in the reason. Okay, why Hill's reaction is only observed during light is clearly explained in the reason. It is because it is required for the functioning of both PS1 and PS2 and production of NADPH and ATP. This is how you have to tackle assertion and reason question, whether it is explaining or not. If assertion is true, reason is false, then there is no issue only, you can easily identify the option. When both are correct, there comes a dilemma whether to choose correct explanation or not. Then at that time what you have to do beta, read reason 2 to 3 times after assertion, then you will easily get to know whether reason is explaining the assertion or not. So here what will be the answer? A, both assertion and reason are true and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. Next you see ma, pigment composition of higher plants resembles closely to that of. So here if you observe how the question in the options, if you see, okay, the question is framed out from 2 chapters, okay, connecting photosynthesis in higher plants, biological classification and plant kingdom. From all these 3 chapters the question is linked and asked. So here you have to know the pigment composition for each thing. Cyanobacteria, which is also called as blue-green algae, in the vegetative cells of cyanobacteria, okay, in the vegetative cells of cyanobacteria, chlorophyll A is present, okay, chlorophyll A is present, A and chlorophyll C, chlorophyll A and chlorophyll C. In chlorophycean members, that is green algae, in chlorophycean members both chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B are present, same like that of higher plants. Diatoms which are under the chrysophytes of Protistan kingdom, okay, they comes under what class beta? Chrysophytes of Protista. They have chlorophyll A and chlorophyll C in them, okay. What is their composition? Chlorophyll A and chlorophyll C, okay. Here if you see Phaeophyceae and Rhodophyceae, Phaeophyceae also it is chlorophyll A and chlorophyll C, Rhodophyceae will be chlorophyll A and chlorophyll D, okay. Rhodophycean members will have chlorophyll A and chlorophyll D pigments, clear, right? So pigment composition of higher plants will resemble what? Cyanobacteria, which is also well known as blue-green algae. In its vegetative cells it has chlorophyll A and chlorophyll C. Chlorophycean members will have chlorophyll A, B, diatoms chlorophyll A, C, Phaeophyceae also A, C, Rhodophyceae A, D. In higher plants what is the chlorophyll pigment composition? Higher plants also it is chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B. So what will be the correct answer beta? Option B will be the correct answer, clear, right? So this is how you have to exercise the questions, connecting the chapters and concepts, then you will remember it for a long run. This question you see ma, assuming a thylakoid is somehow punctured. So this is application based question. So to the students who want to exercise the advanced questions, this is one of the advanced application question, look into it properly. Assuming a thylakoid is somehow punctured so that the interior of thylakoid is no longer separated from stroma. Picturize the content. So this is the chloroplast, inside this thylakoid membrane got punctured. So this is the chloroplast and these are the thylakoid lamellae or sac-like structures. This membrane is got what? Punctured, and the constituents which are inside the thylakoid lumen, thylakoid membrane are completely mixed up with what? Stroma. This is how you have to picturize the question. This damage will have the most direct effect on which of the following processes? Just imagine thylakoid membrane got punctured, all the constituents which are present in the thylakoid membrane and thylakoid lumen are dissoluted into the stroma. So there will be no effect in the absorption of light because photosystems are present. There will not be any effect in photolysis of water because water molecules will be present, but there will be effect on ATP synthesis because there will not be any proton gradient in between thylakoid lumen and stroma. As there is no proton gradient, there will not be ATP synthesis. This is how. Whenever application based question is given beta, first convert that question into a possible cartoon diagram whichever you want. Okay. After converting it into the picturized form, then you can easily tackle the question. Okay, like how we have done here. So, here direct effect will not be on splitting of water because water molecules are present in the stroma, it will be dissoluted into stroma. Absorption of light energy by chlorophyll, this also will not be affected because chlorophyll molecules whichever are in the stroma will take the energy. So, this also will not be affected. Flow of electrons from photosystem 2 to photosystem 1, this also will not be affected. Photosystem 1, 2 both are present, right, but synthesis of ATP will be affected because there will not be any proton gradient, okay, there will not be any proton gradient in between thylakoid lumen, and stroma. Okay. So, this will be the answer. So, with this I am summing up this session. In coming session we are going to exercise more questions on non-cyclic photophosphorylation and electron transport system. So, let us all meet tomorrow sharp at 2 p.m. again. Thank you.